What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Run. We have got a very, very special show. It is the NBA Finals, gentlemen. It is the last showdown, man. We are ready to roll.
Do it.
A pretty unconventional one. We'll get into it in a sec, though, because this episode is brought to you by Pickups, your everything on-demand delivery app. And what better show than an NBA Finals preview show? Thinking about all of the topics that we're going to have to go through in this 30 minutes. It's going to be fun. Look, the Lakers versus the Miami Heat. Would any of you guys have guessed for that to be the NBA Finals at the start of this season?
Lakers, yes. Miami, no. I think it's a shocker. And I mean, kudos to Miami. I mean, they beat some tough team. Milwaukee, second round. And then Boston, Boston was on the up and coming, right? Like against Toronto when Jason Tatum took over, and Jaylen Brown, you sense some confidence coming into Boston. And so they were with all the momentum in the world, even though Miami beat Milwaukee in 5 games quite handedly. Boston they were playing well. They were meshing well, right? So I think Boston had a lot of confidence coming in. And then when Miami beat them, now Miami is like on a high right now. And they're playing fundamental key team basketball without a superstar. It's kind of like the 2004 Pistons a little bit. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting matchup. But no, to answer your question, Miami, I'd expect it. And kudos to Jimmy Butler and to those boys to getting the job done.
Ray, I'll ask you this real quick. I know you had you boys, the Clippers, probably in the finals, man. But did you expect Miami to make it into that side?
I'm really still trying to get over what happened with Paul George. I don't know what happened. The guy disappeared. Went right when they really needed him. It's a game 7. And Denver proved that they were the team that's going to be coming back. They just did not give up. But if we're still on the topic of the Miami Heat, like Abbas just mentioned, like AJ just said, that is not really no superstars there. I think there is an emerging superstar in Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler. You literally seeing Tyler Hero taking over some of these games, and he had a breakout game that literally just catapulted the Miami Heat and just really showed how much fight and grit those guys got. I mean, even that game saving block by Bam, it was just like, these guys, they mean business. If I'm the Lakers, I'm concerned. Because, Eric Spoelstra knows LeBron James very well. But this is a different LeBron James. This is not Miami Heat LeBron James. This is a different beast, and it's a more seasoned LeBron James. And he's got Anthony Davis. He's got a lot of pieces around him. So I'm pretty interested to see how that series is going to play out. But I'm still hoping that, the Miami Heat could somewhat upset and possibly beat the Lakers in 6.
Okay. Ooh, predictions coming early in this one.
Is that a prediction?
Ooh.
That's a prediction. I'm telling you right now, Jimmy Butler is coming into this with a whole different mindset.
Wow. Wait, you said Heat in 6?
Heat in 6. Yeah, it's a hot take. I know it is. I'm saying Heat in 6 because I understand that the one thing, the one issue with the Lakers is this. When one of those guys doesn't play well, whether it's Anthony Davis or LeBron James, the rest of the team just can't function. You saw it, but the Lakers have been pretty dominant, believe it or not. They've been dominant throughout the playoffs, but they really haven't played a team, in my opinion, that has really pushed, really gave it, brought it to the Lakers. And I think that's what the Miami Heat are going to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to change, the landscape because they're just more hungry. Ooh. The Miami Heat are more hungry. The Lakers are driven by Kobe Bryant. Don't get me wrong. Kobe's heart is beating in those Lakers jerseys, and that's the one thing that they've got going for them, and it could be actually the deciding factor to actually take them over the edge.
We have so many storylines here, so I want to get into that a little bit. There's a lot of stuff, and you mentioned a lot of them, right? Like the Spo versus LeBron, his old coach, everything like that. AJ, if you had to pick, what is your favorite storyline of the finals going into it? Which one would it be?
It'd probably be Bam versus AD coming in right now.
Wow.
That matchup is going to be probably the deciding factor going into the series. Like, I think because LeBron's going to do his thing. I think Jimmy Butler's going to do his thing, right? Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, you can kind of guess what they're going to do. They're 3-point shooters, and they're not going to alter from their game, right? They know what they're good at, and they're going to stick to that, right? I think that matchup down low between Bam and AD, that will be the deciding factor. And if Bam plays similar to how he played against Boston, like you mentioned, the block against Jason
Yeah.
Tatum, right? That kind of kind of ferocity, that kind of tenacity, that kind of confidence coming into the series, it's going to be a good series. I don't think it's going to be good enough, but at the same time, I think that.
So wait, you're saying you're not going to go the distance?
Do I think the Heat's going to win?
You feel like it's not they're not going to go the distance, as in like Miami's not going to take them to 6 or 7.
They'll take him to 6. I think 6 games. Right.
Okay.
I mean, if I don't know, I thought we had like a prediction segment separate for the show, but I guess we'll just do it now. I personally got Lakers in 6, right? But
wow.
Yeah, but I think that it's going to be close. Like I don't see blowouts happening.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody. Like I see even scoring, I would say, across the board when it comes to the players. LeBron might have a monster game, right? Jimmy will have, I think, one monster game, but scoring will kind of be balanced throughout, and it's going to be close. It's going to be a good game. But that series, that matchup, Bam and AD, will be the deciding factor of this series. And I give AD just a little bit because I just think he's a better player than Bam overall. So I think that will be the key storyline coming into this series.
I'll say this because we're getting our predictions out the way. I might as well get my prediction out the way too. Look, I agree with you guys are saying. Heat in 6 is an interesting take. Lakers in 6 is also an interesting take. I actually look, if this were to happen in real arenas, if the Heat were going to the Staples Center and if the Lakers were going to the American Airlines Arena, I would 100% say Lakers in 5. There's no doubt in my mind. Lakers are destroying this team. All right?
I agree.
But equal playing ground, we've noticed that to be a difference maker here in these playoffs, right? I think it's going to be Heat in 7. It's crazy to say.
I agree.
I think it might be Heat in 7. It's
agree.
crazy to say because, look, you're right. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, everything that's going on with the Lakers, they've dominated. They've only lost 4 games. But look at what the Heat just did. The Heat have only lost 2 games. Yeah. Or no, 3 games in the entire playoffs. Yeah. And they beat the Bucks. They just dismantled the Celtics that just beat the best team in the East, in my opinion, which was the Raptors. Yeah. And you go ahead and you look at what the Heat have done. They've proven they can't quit. Yeah. I'm not AJ. I'm definitely not denying everything that you say about the Lakers because look, Anthony Davis is going to be trouble. LeBron James is going to be trouble. But who is going to do anything outside of those guys?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's look at that. Right?
Man, I agree with you, S. This is the first time I actually agree with you, man.
Thank you,
know
man.
What I'm saying? He's right. He's right.
So we got AD and LeBron, right? On the other side, we kind of got
Bam and Jimmy. It's Bam
and Jimmy, right? Yeah. So let's kind of look at the other players, right? Okay. On one side, you got Rondo, right? You got playoff Rondo. You got that experience, and Rondo in that Nuggets series was huge.
He was huge. I agree.
Huge in that series, right?
Yeah.
And the other side, you got Dragic, right? Dragic. Right. I sing the praises of Goran Dragic, and I love him. I think he's very underrated. I don't think he gets the props that he deserves. Like the way that he can drive to the basket, attract a double team, dish out to the 3-point shot to Tyler Hero, Robinson. And find that open guy. Like he's driving. He's like literally right under the basket, and he has like 3 hands up in the air like this. And you're like, how is he going to get this pass through? But somehow he finds Jimmy, he finds Hero, he finds Duncan Robinson, and they hit the shot, right? So you got Goran Dragic there. I give the edge to Rondo in that situation.
Wow,
right?
what?
I do.
But the Dragon's a better shooter.
I do, but Rondo has. Like he has a championship. The experience is going to make a difference here, right? The experience is going to make a difference.
Defender. He's a better
defender as well. Yeah. It's not even close when it comes to shooting. Dragic is the better shooter. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But when it comes to just basketball IQ and when it comes to toughness in the playoffs, I got to give the edge to Rondo there. Okay.
Well, you know what? I mean, I gotta say this, AJ. I think Rondo is key. But I also think Caruso is too. I think that a lot of it is going to also, rely on the bench, how the Lakers bench play. Because if Caruso has a really good game, he then can counter a guy like a Duncan Robinson, like the Tyler Heroes. Because Caruso now has got to show why, all this hype about Caruso being the GOAT, he got to prove it now. Because now you're in the NBA Finals. And you got a hungry Miami Heat team. You got a very, very decorated organization in Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Those guys are winners.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what they do, right? That's what they do. There's a lot of winning pedigree that comes there, but a lot of that is because of LeBron James. LeBron James brought those 2 rings, there in Miami. The last time they won, and the last time we were even in the NBA Finals is because of LeBron. So all of these things play so much into what is going to happen in these finals, and I just can't wait until Tuesday rolls around.
I think one thing all of us can agree is that there's a chance this goes to 7, and then there's a
absolutely
toss-up. There's a chance.
This is not going to be a blowout. Like when I picked the Lakers in 6, I am expecting a dogfight every single game, man. Brutal. Like you got alpha males battling out in this series. Jimmy Butler, man, he is, I guess, like the highest that you can go for an all-star right before a superstar. That's where Jimmy Butler is right here. He's he's right here, right at the tip, right?
Yeah.
You have him. You got Bam, like I said. But the deciding factor is, and I was going to make this point as well, and as you alluded to it, was, the environment, the arena, the fans. That's not there, so it's kind of a level playing field, right? But again, when I look at both teams, this is the NBA Finals at the end of the day. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Dragic, they haven't been there before, right? But you got guys like LeBron. You got guys like Dwight Howard. You got guys like Rondo. You got guys like AD. These guys have been there before. That's why that veteran leadership and that experience, I'm giving the edge to LA there, right?
But how much do you think, that's the question I have, how much do you think in this specific environment experience works out for you? Because look, if we were talking about experience, who should have won between the Raptors and the Celtics? If we're talking about experience, realistically, I know between the Heat and the Bucks, it's probably closer in terms of experience. But I would say the Bucks, with Giannis and what they did last year, they were the more experienced team, right?
Yeah.
It seems like experience doesn't necessarily matter in these playoffs.
But I think it's mentality too. I think it's mental. Like Pascal Siakam, guys, he disappeared, man. He disappeared because he just couldn't handle that moment. I think because they say that bubble ball is real ball, right? Like there's no fans, there's no distractions, there's nothing going on, no cheerleaders, right? None of that stuff that for you to look at. It's just you. It's just you playing ball using your raw skill. And I think when it comes down to these 2 teams, Lakers and Miami, I think when it comes to skill, Lakers and experience and the mental aspect of being in those big game moments, I think the Lakers have the edge. Again, it's going to be a great series. It's hard. It's going to be 2 great teams. I want to really stress that point that I'm not going to say Lakers are taking it 5. Oh, it's over. It's not even close. Close up the NBA Finals. Yeah. No way, man. I love Miami, what they're doing so far, man. This is great basketball we're seeing. It's like a college basketball atmosphere that we're seeing, right?
True.
And I want to see it. I want to see a great finals, and I think we will. I just give the edge to LA.
I will say this. I still think that, a lot of it has come down to officiating. I think the officiating in these playoffs have been a huge factor because now the refs can hear everything. There's a lot of things. I mean, it is one thing when you're playing an arena with a ton of distractions, fans, and all that kind of stuff. But now, everything is exposed. Just like AJ said, this is real basketball now. There's no fans. It is really chemistry team basketball you playing now, whether you got it or you don't. There's no advantage. So even if you really down 2-0, you are in trouble now. It's not like you going back home and you can figure it out. Right. You can't figure it out. So if any one of these teams right now, whether the Miami Heat or the Lakers, go down in this series, I'm telling you, it's the first team that's going to strike blood is going to be the team that's going to be able to finish. And personally, I just think that, when it comes down to it, I'm telling you guys, it's going to come down to Kobe Bryant. When it's all said and done, these Lakers are going to find something deep that they are going to refuse to lose this NBA championship opportunity with the passing of Kobe Bryant. It's just way too much of a burden. It's way too much of a storyline. It's way too much of a headline. It is the legacy of legacies. And this will staple LeBron James as arguably the greatest of all time if he's able to win this championship. But it would also put Jimmy Butler in a whole different conversation if he wins this NBA title.
Absolutely.
He now has that superstar franchise. He is stamped, proved.
100%.
Jimmy Butler, you know, the Butler did it. But if LeBron James wins, he's got to be considered now as one of the greatest of all time.
All right, let's talk about LeBron, because I think this series is one of his biggest series in his career, because if you look at everything that's happened in the man's 17-year career, he's 35 years old. This may be his last chance to get into that like you said, the conversation for GOAT, right?
Right.
AJ, I know you said hell no to if you were to win this year, he wouldn't be the GOAT. Ray, you just said he might be conversation-wise, that he might be in the conversation for it. I tend to lean towards he is in the conversation for it. I think he might end up being in the conversation for it. Obviously, I wasn't there when Michael Jordan was at the peak of his time. I've watched the games. I've watched The Last Dance. I've tried to learn as much as I can, but I never watched Jordan live. So I'll leave it to you two to really debate this out. To really debate this out. Is LeBron James, if he wins this fourth title, like you said, with everything that happened with Kobe Bryant, everything that happened this season, if you think about what he's did with his last title, coming back from down 3-1, an incredible thing no one's ever done in the NBA Finals. Right. Does this make LeBron James the greatest player of all time?
AJ, I'll let you take a shot at it before I kill you.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. It's funny that we're bringing this up, man, because for me, MJ is the GOAT, okay? And I think even after he wins this, if he wins this championship, i.e. LeBron James, I still don't put him up there as the greatest of all time. Now, here's the reason why, guys. It's not only about winning for me, it's about how you win, okay? That's why Bill Russell has 11 rings, but he'll never be known as the greatest of all time, right? Because back then, it was 8 teams in the league, right? The top 2 teams make it to the conference finals. Conference finals, best of 5. And you make it to the NBA Finals, right? It was an easier path, right?
Absolutely.
And the players back then just weren't as skilled, right?
Yeah.
With MJ, he clawed his way to the top. And when he put his flag on top of the mountain, nobody took him off that mountain. Nobody. Right. He was there, and he three-peated twice, right? 6-0 in the finals, 6 finals MVPs. It's a broken record, but it's a stat that needs to be said when it comes to comparing the two, right? And the point that I want to make more importantly though is the way that they play the game. MJ, man, like he would say, "Give me the ball, let me take this guy, I'm taking over." We saw that with LeBron James when he defended Jamal Murray. He goes, "I'm taking over. Let me defend Jamal Murray." He blocked him and he stopped Jamal Murray, I think in game 4 it was. Right. So that was good to see, right? That killer mentality. We saw that. The thing is that we don't see a lot of that of LeBron. We saw that of MJ every single night. And we knew that MJ, again, the buzzer beaters, the clutch plays, that kind of puts me on the side of my MJ. The reason why I think he'll never surpass LeBron James.
Never?
Two reasons.
Never. You're saying never.
Never. MJ is always the GOAT.
Even if he gets 6.
Even if he gets 6. 2 reasons why. When he built that super team, right? When it comes to in Miami with Bosh, Wade, and himself.
He disqualified 2 rings is what you're saying?
He took an easier path to get to the rings. Number 1. Number 2, what's even harder than that was when he lost to Dallas the first time they were there in the finals. You built a super team. You were the heavy favorites coming in, right? And that is a blemish on your record that I think will never go away and that we don't see with MJ. MJ would never team up with Magic and Larry, right? He would never kind of make the easier path. He'll take whatever he took from management, Jerry Krause, and we all know the fights that he had with Jerry Krause. He battled management a lot, but he fought through all of that, and he won 6 championships with the team, man. Scoring titles, MVP titles, all NBA defensive team, which LeBron was not on. He has defensive player of the year, which LeBron doesn't have. I mean, offensive categories on its own. From a defensive standpoint, MJ is way better than LeBron when it comes to defense as well.
I don't know about that.
Well, you're talking about the guy that's got the art.
LeBron could have won defensive player of the year in 2012 and 2014.
Yeah. Right.
He could have.
Marc Gasol
but he didn't.
got it over him.
He has a champ. He has a defensive player of the year, and he's had at least 1 year from what I can remember, when he had the most steals in the league, right? These categories, these defensive categories, along with the offensive
You
categories.
talking Jordan? You talking
Yeah.
Jordan or you talking okay?
No, MJ.
Okay.
I'm MJ.
MJ, okay. All right.
He's won the steals, like the highest amount of
Yeah.
steals of the league.
Yeah.
Again, these things you don't see in LeBron's category.
But-
And
but-
that
but-
mental
but-
toughness, I think MJ outweighs LeBron as well.
This is what I gotta say. Okay.
Sorry, one sec. Before I have one more point I want to make after yours. After yours, want to make one more point because I'm not a LeBron hater. It's either you're MJ or LeBron. I don't want to be known as a LeBron hater. I love LeBron James, and I want to make one very, very important point after you're done, Ray. I just want to make that
Okay.
point. Go ahead.
Okay. See, this is the thing. This is the thing I want you to understand. We're talking, this is a conversation about era basketball right now. If LeBron James was playing in Michael Jordan's era, I'm telling you that right now, LeBron James would dominate. Okay.
Other way around.
But it's the same thing. Jordan would also do just as much damage in this era, just like LeBron would. Don't get me wrong.
He might do more still. They might.
No. He would. Listen. Jordan is like we're talking. You see how sometimes it's just very difficult to stop James Harden. Now imagine that type of offense with a Russell Westbrook just coming at you all the time, and then you got like the mentality of a Kawhi Leonard, and then you got the clutch of a Kobe Bryant. That's Michael Jordan in this era right now. He would just destroy of guys because the one thing that
he's averaging 50 a game.
The one thing that fueled Michael Jordan was competition. Jordan had to leave the game because it wasn't competitive for him anymore. It wasn't fun for him anymore. What do you think that means? That just means that Jordan had it a little bit easier. He was beating teams in his prime. It was just too easy for Michael. He even said it when Gary Payton was saying that I could have stopped Jordan. They should have just had me guarding him the whole series. Jordan laughed at that. I didn't have no trouble with Gary Payton. He didn't have a lot of trouble with a lot of those guys, from Clyde Drexler to Charles Barkley to Penny and Shaq, and when they were coming into the league. Jordan, Reggie Miller, the Pistons gave Jordan some trouble.
I was going to say, some trouble.
Yes.
I'm sorry, LeBron would not have survived the bad boy Pistons guys.
But LeBron had to deal with the Pistons, the reincarnated Pistons.
Not even
Ben
close.
Wallace.
Not even close.
It was still. Listen, what LeBron James did in those series against the Pistons and those Boston Celtics was special.
Those were this era's Pistons, though.
Right.
You think about it.
Right. It's not the same.
Okay.
It's not the same because those guys, those bad boy Pistons, weren't playing basketball. They were playing some next type of rugby.
That's why
Excuse my language.
That's why I'm saying. Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
It was different, but it wasn't skilled basketball. We're talking more athletic. This era right now is more athletic. They're more athletic. They're more talented. You got guys like Steph Curry and Damian Lillard shooting from the logo. When the heck did you see that in Jordan's era? Never. You never see anything like that. It was just you have to literally guard guys like from steps away from the 3-point line. When it was Michael Jordan's era was strict mid-range, right? This is a whole different type of offensive game. James Harden has shown that. Guys have evolved their offensive game. The Euro step has been – you never saw some of these moves and all that. Iverson, just crossover. All of that was before – these are – the offensive player has literally evolved. The offensive player has literally evolved. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Michael Jordan, the guys that were standing in Michael Jordan's way, AJ, are not the same guys that are standing in LeBron James' way. We're talking Kevin Durant. We're talking Kawhi Leonard. We're talking Steph Curry. We're talking James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Compare some of those names I just told you to some of the guys that Jordan maybe had to play.
Wait, let me just
Johnson, Larry Bird, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, a young, hungry Shaq that he swept. Remember that, right?
But he also lost to him.
Okay, but let's see. He comes halfway. He's not in shape. Give him an offseason. Works out, exercises, comes back and sweeps them to the point where people don't even want to bring that up, except guys like you and Nick Wright who want to bring up stuff like that in the past, right? Which doesn't matter. You come Jordan out of shape and he doesn't even play properly. Gets an off season, works out, gets in shape, comes back and sweeps them, right?
I'm just trying to say, all I'm trying to say is that Jordan is more of a Magic. LeBron James is more of a Magic Johnson. That's he's not the type of guy. He's a facilitator. He'll kill you if he. He'll. Am I wrong though, S?
So okay, I have 3 things I want to say.
He'll kill you if he has to. LeBron will kill you if he has to. But
there's a lot.
I've seen him pass the ball way too much sometimes, and that's because he likes to get guys involved. Jordan was never that type of passer. Let's be real. Jordan is just a straight killer.
LeBron's a better passer. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this idea that the GOAT has to have this killer mentality. That he has to be that type of player. That he has to be what Jordan was, but better. But I think what LeBron has done with basketball is completely different from what Jordan has done, because he's helped create for others way more than Jordan has ever done, helping create for others, in my opinion. The other thing that you can bring up with this whole Jordan versus LeBron argument is that before Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan could not win. Before Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan could not win. Before Dennis Rodman, no. But regardless, before Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, those 2 players, the coach and the player, Michael Jordan could not win. That he needed a perfect system, which was the triangle offense. He needed a perfect coach. He needed a perfect sidekick.
Correct.
If you think about it in those terms, realistically, how great was Michael Jordan if you take away those 2 players?
Thank you, S.
That's all I'm saying. That's
true.
So but then he won as an individual player before those guys even came in. He won Rookie of the Year. He won MVP.
Yes, he did.
From an individual standpoint, he got all those players.
But LeBron did that too.
Yeah.
No. But the thing is, what did LeBron do? He left and joined another guy's team, i.e. Dwayne Wade, and talked to Chris Bosh and joined powers and made it easier for him. MJ fought through everything.
I don't know,
Scratch
man.
And clawed.
Pippen is like a Wade.
No, but he was given that, right? It was a draft.
Wade.
No, but it was drafted.
Rodman is like a Bosh.
He won.
You know what I'm saying?
He won 3 rings before that. Before Rodman.
I know, but those are still great players.
They are, but they were given by management. It's not like MJ left and went to Magic and Larry.
This is why the argument will never end. This is why.
This is why.
I think we should move on. But I just want to make one point, guys, about LeBron James, because you know why? It's been killing me, and it's so funny we're bringing this up because I've been thinking about this all week. Because for me, MJ is the GOAT. I think we're clear on that what my position is.
Yeah.
So for me, the debate has always been number 2, right? Is it LeBron? Is it Kobe? Is it Kareem? Is it Magic? Who is it? And I've always gone back and forth. Is it LeBron? Is it Kobe? Is it Kareem? This past week, I've been really, really thinking about it. And even if LeBron doesn't win this championship, for me, LeBron James is solidified the second best of all time after MJ. I'll put him above Kobe. I'll put him above Kareem. With all due respect to the late great Kobe Bryant, amazing player. And it goes back to your point. You don't have to have the killer mentality to be the GOAT, because Kobe had that, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, MJ had both. He had the killer mentality and he won at the same time. So that's why I put MJ just above everybody else, right? With Kobe, he had the killer mentality. Kobe had 5 rings, right? And he has the accolades. But MJ was just a better winner than Kobe Bryant. But here is why LeBron James is number 2 for me. For me, LeBron James is the most scrutinized and criticized player in the history of the NBA.
Maybe sports.
I would have said sports, but then I thought of Muhammad Ali, right? I thought of Muhammad Ali, and I said, what, Muhammad Ali, for me, was the most criticized, scrutinized athlete in history. Right. But I would always put LeBron James number 2. Because this guy, LeBron, man, whether he won, he got killed. Whether he lost, he got killed. It's the way he won. It's the way he lost. Like you know what I mean? He doesn't show up in the 4th quarter. He scores 16 points in the 4th quarter. Yeah, but the score wasn't tied. You know what I mean? Like, they're throwing excuses at the guy.
They're going to find something.
They're going to find something, but he's persevered through all of that. He's persevered through all of that. He's top 3 scoring all time, number 1 playoffs, multiple MVPs, all-time leader in all-team NBA 16 times, which is a record as well. He has persevered through all of that and has achieved so much in his career. He has the thickest skin that I've seen in my life. Like the guy, like that amount of pressure that people put on him, that amount of attention that you get on, the whole entire world is watching you play basketball. They want to see what LeBron James wants to do. And even with all of that pressure, all of that criticism, he always rose to the top and has achieved so much so much, which is why for me, he's second of all time, stamped. Number 1, MJ. Number 2, LeBron. And that's okay, guys. That's okay. Being number 2 of all time with the rich history of the NBA, it's okay to be number 2 of all time. He's at the dinner table with MJ and these guys. He's Mount Rushmore. It's okay. It's okay. I just can't put him above MJ, but man, he is solidified number 2 for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we'll finish off with this. After all the conversation that we've talked about, everything that we've talked about, we talked Heat Lakers. If you want to listen to the first 15, 20 minutes of this episode, it was all Heat Lakers. And then the last half was all MJ LeBron. But all right,
Your fault.
I know. I'm sorry. Hey. It's the hosting capabilities.
It was bound to come up. We've never spoken about it. You know,
Man.
our first episode we aired was Boxing Day 2019, man. We haven't spoken about it yet, man. It was bound to come up, man. And this is a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, boss. I agree with you. Okay, we'll do one final. You don't have to go on a whole spiel. Final predictions for the NBA Finals. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to 7 regardless. If it goes to 7, I'm going to go ahead and take the Miami Heat. It's a bold take. I'll live with the take. It's okay. I'll take. Anybody else want to go ahead? No.
Like I said, Lakers in 6, man. I think the experience and the mentality of the Los Angeles Lakers will prove to be a factor in these NBA Finals. I think Miami's got Jimmy Butler and AD, but they got some young boys in there, man. They got some young boys who are growing up to men like Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. I just think right now the moment's too big, and LeBron James, man, he's not going to lose to the Miami Heat. I just don't see it. Lakers in 6.
You know what? I will say this, man. AJ convinced me a lot. You know, I came into this. No, he really did, because I came into this really feeling I know, man. I really came into this.
It's the Paul George hate. It's the
Miami.
Paul George hate.
I came into this really feeling Miami in 6, because I feel like something really shocking is going to happen. And I feel like Jimmy Butler, just like how he ripped Giannis's heart out of that series, and he just they just dismantled that Milwaukee Bucks team. Okay, I still think that if that Milwaukee Bucks team was to face this Laker team in the finals, the Bucks could win, right? So to see what the Miami Heat did to them, I am very afraid for the Lakers, because all it's going to take is for one of those guys to get off their game. And you know who's made out of glass? Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you this right now. All it's going to take is just that one. He is the factor. AJ's right. It is Anthony Davis, and it really is Bam
100%.
in that case. That's the deciding factor, because if Anthony Davis does not show up and he doesn't do those heroics with them game-winning shots he did, if Anthony Davis is not the prime Anthony Davis, the reason why the Lakers brought him here, it's over for the Lakers. They're not winning the NBA championship, and the Miami Heat are just a hungrier team. So, AJ, you kind of convinced me. I almost felt like it could be Lakers, but I'm telling you, the Miami Heat are going to win the NBA championship.
He still did it. He still did it. Yo, let's go.
You thought I was going.
You said AJ. You said I convinced you.
Let's go.
Did he not say I convinced him?
Money.
You
Big
almost.
money.
Almost.
That's right.
You said
That's
AJ
right.
convinced me, because even S was like, "What's going on here, man?" I thought you screwed S over to get him back for all that Paul George hate.
I'm telling you, man, because I'm telling you, this series is gonna be like that.
It's going to be a great series, guys.
It's gonna be a great series. You're
man.
gonna think that it's gonna be the Lakers.
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
Anything's possible, man.
Anything is possible. You guys are 100% right. I think just from all the excitement that we've had on this episode, we can clearly tell that we're all hyped up for the NBA Finals that start on Wednesday night.
But wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I want to ask you guys something.
Okay.
One last question. Who wins Finals MVP?
Oh, that's a good one. All right. Well, look, if the Lakers end up winning the Finals, I do think LeBron James will end up winning Finals MVP. I think it's just written. That's the way it goes with LeBron teams. If the Heat win, I don't know who would win Finals MVP. I have no idea. I would put a dark horse and say if the Heat win, and a lot of the good points that you guys say is Bam versus Anthony Davis. And if Bam locks down Anthony Davis, I think that's way more than enough.
It's gonna be like an Iguodala type of Finals MVP.
Bam could win Finals MVP. I can
got you.
Totally.
What about you, AJ?
Yeah, if it's LA, I got LeBron. I mean, I think the key storyline, like I said, is Bam versus AD. But
Yeah.
I think the heartbeat of that team is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
I would probably have to, like you guys are right. AD and Bam, like whoever wins that matchup will win the series. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what fuels that team, and when it comes to showing up, because we talked about this in a previous episode, as soon as me, you, and Shay, and we were kind of previewing the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler is on a business trip. He's not here for fun, man. He's
Yeah.
away from his family. He's packed his bag. He's in a hotel and the gym, office, hotel every night. So
Yeah.
he is really, really locked in right now. And I see him having an amazing final. So I would have to lean towards Jimmy Butler if the Heat wins, that he would win Finals MVP.
Okay, that's totally a safe pick. Totally a safe
No,
pick.
I agree. And the biggest thing is I agree with you. I really think so as well. I think that, Michael Jordan's son is going to be the MVP of this thing, and that's Jimmy Butler. When it comes to, the Miami Heat, I think it's going to be Jimmy. If not, I think Tyler Hero might do it. You never know. If this kid has a breakout series, like you said, Dark Horse, it's possible. That would be absolutely unreal, and it would solidify him on that rookie level. And, it would just be something really special. But I do think that if the Lakers on that side, I think it's this, it's really one of those things where, hey, man,
if Tyler Hero,
they're going to give it. Yeah. What if he does? What if Tyler Hero?
If Tyler Hero,
LeBron's going to get it because of, he got snubbed with Giannis. He's going to get it. He's going to win Finals MVP. But go ahead. You said if Tyler Hero?
If Tyler Hero wins Finals MVP, he will be
right.
the first rookie to ever win Finals MVP since Magic Johnson. So just to put that into perspective.
Yep. Yes.
That would be incredible for him to
right?
do. Yeah.
And it's not impossible.
And it's not impossible. It is not impossible. Yeah.
Because you're right. There are no superstars on that team. They all play like a team in a unit. But if Tyler Hero steps up every single game and he does what he does, like he's dropping 30 every single game and they win, come on, man.
Yep. This is oh man. Well, okay. Hopefully we'll be able to do another episode before the NBA Finals finish off. Gentlemen, it was a blast to talk to you guys about the finals. This was awesome. As always, this episode is brought to you by Pickups, your everything on-demand delivery app. From AJ, from Ray, from S here. Thank you very much for watching The Run, guys. Peace.